friends, Coach Maggie here. So I've been getting a lot of questions about the Thriving Through Menopause program, and I wanted to do an FAQ to address some of the more common questions I'm getting. And so one is, will this help with my symptoms? And the answer is yes, it will. I know that's a really broad answer, but the reason this is going to help with your menopause symptoms, whether you're perimenopause, getting really close to menopause, or you've passed your 1 year anniversary of your final period, this is going to help you balance your hormones because it's a personalized program. We're taking into consideration, where you are in your life, what your day-to-day is, what you like to eat, what you like to do, and really developing a personalized program for you that's going to meet your needs and meet you where you are. Because we know, to be healthy, all of us need to eat lots of fruits and veggies. We need a healthy diet. We need lots of fiber and protein. We need more protein as we age. You need to exercise. You need to get enough sleep. You need to drink enough water. You need to do this and that. And it's a lot to take on by yourself. And as our needs are changing and we need to adapt when we're going through menopause, it's hard to do alone. And, that brings me to my next question that I'm getting is, why is my doctor not telling me about this? I have heard from so many women, they're like, I know I need help, but I don't feel like my doctor is going to help me. And I get it. Doctors are not, unless they're nutritionists, they are not versed in nutrition. And our medical system is not designed to help us with that. Even though, I'm sure if you ask any doctor, they're desperate to have their patients eat healthier. They just can't take that on. Your doctor can't sit down with you once a week for an hour and talk about setting goals and, what your wins and your failures were that week and changing the way you do things, which is what coaching does. Your doctor just does not have that ability. They could have all the knowledge in the world about nutrition and mindset and have it changing all the things that coaches like me have, but they literally do not have the time. And there was a survey done where they asked doctors coming out of medical school, do you feel prepared to deal with women in menopause? And most of them were like, no, I don't. I'm sure the reasons for that are not going to surprise any woman, right? We live in a male-dominated world. There's plenty of women's issues that are swept under the rug because it's too hard. Women were not included in medical studies until the mid-90s because it's just too hard. And so there's just not a lot of information and support for us out there. I feel like that's changing, but if you're looking for that support from someone to figure out what to do and what not to do, then Thriving Through Menopause is what you're looking for. And then the other question I'm getting a lot is, can I just take supplements? The answer is maybe, but I don't know unless we talk, because there's a lot of factors there, depending on, where you are in your menopause journey. And like I was talking about, are you perimenopausal? Are you really close to your menopause? Are you past that 1 year date? Your needs are kind of different in those areas of life. And it also depends on what you're eating day to day. If you're eating pizza and hamburgers and getting your Starbucks coffee every day, no amount of supplementation is going to solve your problems. You really have to make that lifestyle change. If you're somebody who's addicted to sugar, if you're an emotional eater, if you really struggle with food cravings, if you or someone who just can't seem to consistently move your body and exercise, supplementation is not going to solve those problems. You need that one-on-one help, the accountability and support that you're going to get through a program like Thriving Through Menopause. Now, if you're somebody who is super active, feeling good, you eat a pretty healthy diet, you just feel like you need a little something extra, supplementation might be what you need. And again, I would recommend Juice Plus. Start with that. And if you find that you're still having, specific symptoms, then you can start looking at supplements that will help those specific symptoms. So that is my recommendation. But again, if you have questions, let's talk and see kind of where you are. Have our Menopause Mastery vision sessions so that we can create your blueprint, create your vision for your menopause journey, and help you figure out what implementation looks like, what kind of support you need, like what kind of resources are you going to need to make this vision a reality. And one last thing I want to address, and back to, is this going to help my symptoms? So I started doing this, just looking into menopause and helping women with menopause because I am perimenopausal myself. And the thing that led me to health coaching initially was my own health journey. Many of us are like that. And mine was really, I come from a line of women with autoimmune issues. My grandmother had 2 autoimmune diseases. She had a kidney disease and she had Parkinson's disease. My mom has thyroid disease. She has fibromyalgia. And looking at them struggle, my mom especially in the mid-90s, trying to find a diagnosis and help for fibromyalgia was like just painful. Because back then it wasn't recognized as an issue. Now it's commonplace. But back then it was like, it's all in your head. And I could see myself going down that path when I was in my late 20s is when it got really bad. So I started making changes to my diet, went gluten-free, made a huge game changer for me. And then things were getting better, but I was diagnosed with adrenal fatigue. And to be in my late 20s and have no energy and like no get up and go and just be exhausted all the time was really just sad. I mean, it took the wind out of my sails, like kind of physically and literally. I mean, I get watching my friends like have so much fun, have all this energy, and I'm just like dragging behind. It was just really not a fun time. And so I did a lot of things, tried lots of supplements. And after I had my daughter, I was really, really struggling. And I found Juice Plus. And like people don't overcome adrenal fatigue. Like that's when you're diagnosed with it, doctors are like, well, that sucks. Stuck with it. And because I made these lifestyle changes, I did a lot of work on my anxiety. I did a lot of work on my nutrition. I did a lot of work on my physical activity. Like I feel like a normal human. And so I know that this works. I know that this system works. And then, fast forward a little bit to being perimenopausal, I was having some symptoms. They weren't terrible, but I knew that there was help out there. It's like, okay, what am I doing? Like I'm on Juice Plus, I'm eating the right diet. Maybe some room for improvement, but I'm doing okay. So then I looked at more supplementation. Like what else do I need to kind of add in to help myself? And I tell that to people, and I kind of had this thought of, well, how do I really know? Because I've been on these supplements for so long. I've been doing these lifestyle changes for so long. Of course they're working. So I decided about 4 or 5 months ago, I was like, I'm going to stop all of my supplements. I'm going to kind of rein it in a little bit on what I do to take care of myself and see what happens. And guess what? Been having trouble sleeping. I've been having hot flashes. My anxiety is way up. I am way moodier. I'm bloated. Like I don't have energy. And so I know what it feels like to not be doing these things. And I know what it feels like to be doing these things and doing these things that I'm talking about, the supplementation, the lifestyle, the diet, the exercise, making sure you're drinking enough water, not eating too much sugar, like all of these things that are so commonplace for us to do in our society. If you can cut those out, maybe at least cut some of them out and rein in the other ones, it will make a world of difference. But it is so, so hard to do it on our own. So I'm inviting you to schedule your Menopause Mastery Breakthrough session with me. Let's envision what your future looks like. Let's figure out what it is that you need to do to get yourself back to normal and feeling good and be healthy through menopause and post-menopause. And figure out what that looks like for you. And if that's working together, amazing. If it's just supplementation, awesome. If it's something else, like let's talk about it. So thank you so much for listening to me. Please, please, please let me know if you have questions. let's talk, and I hope to talk to you soon.